Thank you for listening to this episode of Changes Big and Small. This is your host, Damian. Changes Big and Small will help you take action in your life with intention and purpose. In each episode, I share unexpected challenges that will help you take action to build a life that you want. The holidays can be a stressful time of year. For some people, it's stressful to be alone. For others, it's stressful to be with family. Some of you may be grieving the loss of someone close to you, either from this year or from prior years. Take care of yourself and, if you can, someone else. If you're celebrating any holidays at this time of year, I hope that you have a happy holidays. I will be taking the next 2 weeks off from the podcast to spend some time with family and friends. Even though I'm a Baha'i and I don't celebrate Christmas specifically, many of my friends and family do, and so I will celebrate with them. I was chatting with a friend recently who talked of being an orphan, walking around the city and looking through the window into people's homes, seeing their decorations and seemingly happy families inside. He shared how lonely he felt watching from the outside at something he yearned for and had no way to attain. If you celebrate Christmas, Kwanzaa, winter solstice, New Year's, and all the other holidays that are coming up, I hope that you have someone that you can spend time with if you want to. It's possible to be alone and not be lonely. But if you're lonely, you may be able to meet some people at a local group, a networking event, through a Facebook group, and hopefully you can find some connection, conversation, and fun if that's what you're looking for. It's not quite the same thing, but I remember a few years ago when I felt lonely during Canadian Thanksgiving. I was living in Prague and I wanted to celebrate with some people. I found a group of Canadians online on Facebook and joined them for Canadian Thanksgiving at a restaurant. In other years, I had no interest in that and I was happy to be on my own. Tune into what you need and try to connect in a way that you can meet that need. With COVID-19 still raging and wreaking havoc around the world, it may be a bit difficult to meet in person in some places. If you're religious, perhaps you can find people online for church or something of that sort. If you need to keep busy, maybe you can organize or present a workshop or some other online activity. If you need to reach out to somebody for help, to talk to somebody, check online for resources in your area or country. In a lot of countries, there are different telephone lines that are available for people who need help to get through the holiday season. For the US, there are a variety of resources, for example, Warm Lines or the National Mental Health Organization. Those resources will be in the show notes. It may be that you love spending time with your family and it's all fun, games, and excitement, and you're not dreading any part of the holiday season. If that's the case, I am delighted for you. Even if you're going to be with people, it can still feel lonely. You may feel like you don't belong, or you may have a challenging relationship with some of your family members. If that's the case, here are some tips that have worked for me. 1. Find your person or people. If you're going to be with family, is there at least one person there that you can be completely yourself with? Someone who will look out for you and act as a buffer if you need help dealing with a challenging family member? Talk to that person beforehand and tell them what you need from them. Ask them for their help. Are there any family members who struggle even more than you do during family get-togethers? Maybe you can find some ways to be there for that person. Or the two of you can make a plan together of how you might escape from the rest of the family for small breaks at a time, breathers, or a chance to decompress and de-stress. 3. Don't be afraid to take some time away by yourself. I used to like to hide in the bathroom, but that's hard to do if there are lots of people around. I think it's perfectly fine to go for a walk, call a friend for a coffee break, go to the mall for a couple of hours, whatever you need for you to be able to make it through the holidays without having a breakdown or without getting into an explosive fight. 4. Find somewhere to stay where you feel comfortable or cared for. You don't have to stay with your sister, parents, brother, friend for the whole time that you're visiting, or even for any of the time that you're visiting. I know this can be prohibitive due to cost. And in that case, number 5, minimize the length of your trip. If you're off for a week, you don't have to visit with family for the whole time. You can take some time before or after visits with family for yourself. 6, have a friend ready in DM or on speed dial that you can reach out to if you need some support. 7, think ahead. What are your triggers? What are your boundaries? How do you want to behave in each situation where you are triggered? You can set some intentions and even plan your conversations. Build your conversation toolkit, as Sunita talked about. How will you respond in different situations? 8, practice being assertive, standing up for yourself and saying no to take care of your mental health. We can sum this up as watch out for yourself and also see who might need help. If you can afford to help someone else, either with your time, with your care, or with your money, I invite you to do that. Here are 5 ways that you can assist somebody else. 1, find a local cause that you can get behind. Maybe that could even be as simple as donating a few cans of food to a soup kitchen or buying a gift for a child whose parents are struggling. 2, volunteer with local groups that need help over the holidays. 3, provide online workshops to help people in your communities. 4, reach out to friends who you know are spending the holidays alone, but also give them space. Let them know that you are there, but let them decide who they want to spend the holidays with and what they want to do. 5, consider helping in a way that extends past the holiday season. For example, you can start an automatic monthly contribution to a charity, nonprofit, or grassroots organization. Or maybe you start volunteering and commit to volunteer on a weekly or bi-weekly basis to some cause that is important to you. It's hard for us to change our usual behaviors, especially with our parents. And it's very easy to fall back into our old patterns, to revert to our blueprint. If your family is traditional, it can be especially hard to tell them that you do not want to stay with them or that you're not coming home for the holidays. And even if you do go home, you may feel bad if you end up hurting Uncle Jack's feelings. If you cut him off when he starts saying something about your personal life that you think is really none of his business. As a woman over 40, I still have many of these same struggles. I bite my tongue, I sit in silence, I do my best to avoid situations that bother me. That doesn't always feel good. I don't necessarily like myself in those situations, in those moments. So I'm working on changing that, of taking responsibility for behaving in a way that aligns with my values and my beliefs. If I want respect, it starts with me. If I want acceptance, that also begins with me. As Sunita reminded us, we get to find the areas of agreement with other people and to also ask them for what we want. So this holiday season, I invite you to ask for help, to ask for what you want. You can pick and choose when you're going to do that. You may be able to anticipate how some people will respond, and you may find that you have success by speaking individually to some people beforehand, actually planning for the event as opposed to getting blindsided when the family is all together. This holiday season, I invite you to ask for help, to ask for what you want. If you're used to being the strong one or the one who does everything and you no longer want to, you can ask for help. It doesn't mean you're going to get help, so remember that. But if you don't receive any help, you can decide to let something go. You can decide that you're not going to cook this Christmas and you're going to order in, even if you have a family. I'm not saying any of this is easy. It most certainly is not easy to change our behaviors, to behave differently in relationships, but it is possible. Here's where you start. What's the smallest thing that you could do differently this year that could make a difference for you in how you experience your holidays, that could make them happier, less stressful, or more fun? Notice that I didn't ask what your partner, children, parents can do, but rather what you can do. It could be a specific action that you will take, a change in your approach or process, or a mindset change. And if you're ready for a bigger leap, what's the thing you've always wanted to change about the holiday season? I know sometimes we daydream and we have plans, we think about something. Maybe that's the case for you, but you've let something stop you. Maybe it's fear of other people's judgment or disappointment. From my perspective, 2020 and 2021 have been tough years for many of us. If there is one year when you can make a change, when you can tell your family you're not coming home, when you can stay at home to binge watch Netflix and read, when you can spend a couple of nights in a hotel on your own ordering room service, or order in for the family rather than cooking, or fly to a tropical paradise on your own. This is it. You deserve a holiday season that is just right for you. You deserve a moment when you can de-stress and decompress. If you've enjoyed listening to this episode, please share it with someone else. I also have a favor to ask. Would you reach out to me with a question or feedback at contact@changesbigandsmall.com? It is helpful for planning future episodes and to find out how I can serve you best. I will be back with new episodes in 2022. Remember, change begins with one small step. Happy holidays and have a great week.